They grow up so fast. 1 second you're getting their Pokeballs. Next thing you know, they're level 16 to 18 and they evolve into something completely different. And now they have different tastes in music and don't want anything to do with me. I feel there's so much discourse in the Pokemon community about mid-stage starters. I mean, just a week or so ago, everyone was hating on poor Quilladin while others were defending them with their lives. I think the main thing is that mid-stage starters aren't there for long. Everyone remembers getting their starters when they're, first found. They're cute and full of marketable personality. But then they evolve and they're there for merely a moment in the grand scheme of things. Because they evolve again and that's their final form, you don't go back. And all these mid-stage forms feel awkward and kinda silly because, honestly, they are supposed to be. I really love mid-stage starters. In fact, Thwackey, Duwat, and Quilladin are all actually high up there on my fave Pokemon list. Thwackey just makes me think of some Gremlin Furby hybrid, I love it. There are also starters that everyone loves for other reasons, but anyway, let's talk a bit about the OSTARAN starters mid-stages. For Chicky's evolution, I wanted it to look like it was growing beyond the need for its legume shell and bursting out of it, looking like it's faster but also a bit goofier. You've seen those videos of the Kiwis running around? That's the kind of energy I want in this form. At this point, I felt like I needed more personality in it, and I wanted to bring in a slightly more teenage girl kind of vibe to it. I added a ponytail and some extra little motifs that would be used in its final form. Colours kept similar to Chicky, but I used some Pokemon and Fakemon to help bring the design closer to what I wanted. Now give me a G, give me an L, give me a, yeah, you get it. Gleammew, the emu Pokemon, a grass type. Once evolved, any previous emotions from Chicky go. Gleammew, however, are ostensibly sassy, and even if they love their trainer, will choose to ignore them. The once outer shell of Chicky is softened, allowing for speed over defense, and the ability to leap great lengths. Gleammew are fast and graceful, able to move through forests with ease. It will lead prey into forests just to slow them down for Gleammew to catch with their razor-sharp talons. Have you ever seen The Little Prince? If not, that's okay, but Princelog's Eevee is supposed to kind of have that feeling to it. A flowy cape made of mucus and his little prince body gives this air of maybe a younger teenager still in their fighting with stick swords period. He has a little crown based on those sort of protrusions you see in sea slugs. As I was colouring, I felt like the yellow was just a bit too much for the colour scheme. It almost took over the entire design. So I instead gave it a gradation, and I think it made it look just that little bit better. Royal, the Fawn Crown Pokemon, a water type. Royal stand proudly with its trainer, protecting them from all harm, even to a point where other people won't be allowed near. Royal's cloak of mucus flows like water and can be manipulated by Royal and used like a shield. They say the brighter and clearer Royal's cloak is, the better it was raised as a Princelog. If its body is damaged, it can slowly regenerate, but during this time, Royal will fall into a depression and refuse to battle, no matter the severity. I actually made Fuma's mid-stage last, so I have to have the top left part of the screen hidden for a while, because this was the hardest of the three to make for mid-stages. I wanted to show his main theme of being this sort of firework maker by using berries and other items coated in like this explosive fluid from his tail and firing them out. It has this big Panda King energy from Sly 1. But I wanted it to be this big, huggable, lovable bear kind of guy. And he added orange berry to show he means business. Once I got the idea together, the colours were fairly simple. But the eyes were a problem to me. They didn't feel good and kept irking me, so instead I went for some cuter, more nonplussed eyes. I think he's pretty cute. Krakuma, the firework Pokemon. During evolution, Fuma's tail becomes fluffy, and once becoming Krakuma, has a divot at the tail that still secretes an explosive fluid. Krakuma place berries and other rounded objects in their tail, coated with fluid that it will then squeeze its tail to fire the objects out. Berries placed in the tail actually will explode after a while, creating a spectacle much like fireworks. Krakuma in the wild have competitions to see who can fire objects the furthest and make the most spectacle. So let's talk about our fourth starter. No, I'm just kidding, sort of. While I'd want each of the other two base characters to show up in the game, I'd like one last character to be a rival, with their own unique design. But if everyone else has the starters, what would they have? Well, remember how I said in previous videos it'd be fun to have a sea slug of every type? One that works like Eevee? It wouldn't evolve into evolution based slugs. It would have its own gimmick, evolving into dual type slugs of each type of its own design. Except water, because Prince Slug has that down. And I get the irony of a sea slug not being water type, but that's fine. It wasn't too hard. I kind of combined Eevee's colours and general shape with Prince Slug's. It's oddly cute and looks pretty squishy. And I can't wait to make a video where I just talk about strange sea evolutions. Yeah? Yeah? Everpod, the adaptation Pokemon. When comparing Everpod DNA to Eevee's, it becomes abundantly clear that they may have been similar species in earlier times. Everpod, however, adapted to shoreline and underwater life. Everpod seems to dwell around coral reefs, especially the Fortress Reef in South Ostara. It has been found that these coral parts are being chewed off by Everpod, which seem to contain the necessary prerequisites for evolution. It has been shown that Everpod can evolve into almost all known types of Pokemon in various combinations. And finally, let's talk about our final protag of the three, Riley. Riley is our non-binary protag, as well as being a representation of the Aboriginal people of Australia. Riley is a high fashion sort, and sporting a cool hat and the latest green Fuma shirt, which I adore. I kind of want like a real life version of it. And you know they're fashion because they're wearing jeans in the OSTARAN heat. I wanted to keep them in the green colour spectrum for most of their colours. So Riley is ready to head out and adventure with Ava and Noah. So has your starter choice or character choice changed after this video? What do you think of them all? Next video, we're going to take a break from Ostara and do something fun and design some new evolutions for Baldean Pokemon. I had some real silly and fun ideas for the Pokemon I made choices for. As a tease, let me give you a name for one of them. Mousembly. And with that, I shall disappear back into the lab as I await my Steam Deck to be delivered. Thanks for watching!
My God, you're greasy.
Mr. Maruka! Help!